Okay, are we ready to go? All right. Good morning, everyone. This is the special called meeting to certify election results, as well as we have combined our regular meeting that would have been held later this week. It's November 8th, it's 11 a.m., and we're here at the Fulton County Government Center. I'd like to call the meeting to order. At a point in time, we're going to have a little bit of public comment, and I'll comment on that before we get there. But before we move further, could I have a motion to approve the agenda, please?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
So moved and seconded. Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. The agenda is approved. We have two speakers for public comment. You have 2 minutes. I would hope, please, everybody in the room, please turn off your cell phones because we're taping this. And we just ask when the 2 minutes is up, when I tell you time, that you will finish your sentence and not your entire thought. And please come forward, Mr. Forrest Webb. And the second speaker would be Amelia Aconris, and you may be ready to speak. Morning, Mr. Webb.
Good morning. Again, Forrest Webb III, City of Atlanta Municipal Clerk. I felt it necessary to be present, first and foremost, to welcome you, Madam Chair, as the chairperson for the board. The other issue is that the City of Atlanta would like to thank the Board of Registration and Elections, as well as the staff, for a great election. Oftentimes, we don't come down to thank individuals when they do a good job, and I felt that they've done a good job. I've been the municipal clerk for 5 years. I've been the deputy municipal clerk for 20 years. I've been with the City of Atlanta for 32 years. By far, this is the best election that the City of Atlanta has experienced. I would have to say that during non-election years, the partnership that the City of Atlanta and Fulton County has when it comes to the Office of Registration and Elections is outstanding. And it significantly helps during elections for us to have that continuing relationship. The staff, from Ms. Nadine Williams to Richard Barron, to even Holly Smith, those individuals return our phone calls, return our emails, and they're oftentimes time sensitive. A lot of individuals, primarily citizens, don't really care to know how the sausage is made. But I will say that Senate Bill 316 was a significant change to our elections a couple of years ago. And that was difficult enough and challenging enough to be able to comply with those requirements. Then it was followed up with Senate Bill 202. I believe that the communications team that you all have in place does a really good job of managing the expectations of citizens. I think we can all improve. But I would have to say thank you so very much, and we'll continue to work daily to improve how we communicate things at the city, at the county, and how we can better respond to citizens' concerns. And I would like to end with this. Although there are partisan appointments, I would appreciate and I thank you all for never responding to me or the City of Atlanta in a partisan posture. When I contact you, when I email you, you respond to me as the city clerk. And for that, I really appreciate you all. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Webb. And Ms. Aconris.
It's Acuris. Thank you so much.
Acuris, thank you. I'm so sorry.
I applaud the gentleman's previous comments. Again, my name is Amelia Acuris, and I'm the manager at Precinct 4V, Dunbar Neighborhood Center Gym on Windsor Street. I'm here today to tell you about the experiences, my personal experiences and those of the precinct's voters on Election Day. And I'll preface by saying that this has been a much smoother election than previous times that I've managed a polling precinct. Dontavius Hurd, a 38-year-old black man and nursing student, showed up as a possible felon when I scanned his ID into the poll pad. I called downtown to inquire about his status, and it turns out he shows as an active voter with no record on ElectionNet. Dontavius was visibly upset, wiping tears from his eyes, as I apologized for having to make him fill out an affidavit declaring he's not a felon. One should not have to endure such an emotional duress to exercise their right to vote. Frederick Plant is a 71-year-old black man, same age as my father, who was nowhere to be found in the poll pad. And although he showed as an active voter in election the people at headquarters had a difficult time telling me his precinct so that he would know where to vote, given SB 202. Frederick, it turns out, is experiencing homelessness and has used a church address where all his correspondence is set when he registered to vote. And no one explained to him that he needs to use a municipal court address when he is without a legal residence. James Holt left our precinct without voting because he needed to go to work and couldn't risk being late if he tried to get to his precinct. One voter's profile came up on the tablet as incomplete when we scanned his driver's license, and there were two profiles under his name. The only difference was a pound sign. I'd like to understand better why the data in the poll pads differs so greatly from the data in ElectionNet. The discrepancy is suppressive, even if it's possibly unintentional. I have more, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you on process improvements. Please do call on me. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just asked the staff to make a note and get back to her after
Thank you
we have
kindly,
the opportunity. Thank you.
and good job.
Thank you. Okay, that concludes our public comment. Now it's time to approve the minutes. I had a couple of changes, and maybe we'll just go through if anybody has changes. I'll just start with Ms. Crawford, if you have any changes to the minutes. Okay. How about you, Ms. Ruth? No?
Yes, Madam Chair, just point of clarification on the agenda today. I believe the October 1st meeting that we're about to approve was a challenge meeting, not a regular meeting.
Okay.
And secondly, the October 14th meeting was a regular meeting, not a special meeting, just for the record. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Johnson?
And mine are also just some clarification and clerical. But on the sheet that says October 1st, it says October, on the line under the heading, it says October 1st, 2020. That should be 2021. On the October 14th minutes, it says August 12th. And I think that should say October 14th as well. And then on the October 21st meeting minutes, it says 2020 as well.
And can I just ask the staff if because we sort of pulled a fast one on y'all, asking you to get those reports in early so that we could combine these meetings. There's probably some other clerical things. I'm going to mention a few. But if we send those to you, you can just change those without having to go through a meeting process, right? Because those would just be clerical. Okay. Let me just call out a couple things. On the October 14th unapproved minutes, page 4, I have highlighted on my notes, the drop boxes are open 9 to 6, October 12th through 29th. Is there a reason that's highlighted? Like highlighted?
Mr. Barron mentioned it twice. He did it in a monthly ops, and then he doubled back at the end and said, he indicated it as important, so I just highlighted it.
Okay, thank you. Under new business on page 6, second paragraph under introducing me, it says break the EYES, it's ICE. Although, hopefully I'm not, it says I'm breaking the ice. I don't think I broke anybody's eyes, please. Page 7, Chairman 1, obviously Chairman Willard. And then same thing on page 4 of the October 21st meeting. I think I chaired that meeting. So we might have some other, if you have clerical changes, obviously if there's anything substantive, we can go back at another meeting and chair that and do that. But thank y'all for getting those things in quickly. I know you had a million things to do this weekend. Mr. Barron, would you like to, we need to approve the minutes as corrected?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the minutes as updated.
Okay.
Second.
All right, properly moved and seconded. Oh. Did you have
Madam
some?
Chair, I believe, though, that we are missing the executive session minutes. There's usually, or normally, there is a rendition of that sent to the board members in advance of this meeting. It's typically been done, in my experience, by email.
The executive session meeting that we did on the
Yeah, it's just,
14th?
it's not specific, obviously, but it's just a rendition of that. I know that
Okay.
prior chairs have, not that you knew that, but
I did
prior
not know
chairs
that.
have seen that.
so-
Part of the record, the meeting was held, that we had an executive session on that particular.
Well, now I am signing an affidavit to that effect.
Okay.
Is that,
Yeah, no, I get
does
that.
that
Well,
suffice?
that may be just fine. I'm just saying that typically we had that as part of the package, correct?
Yes, and that's provided by the board chair.
I'm sorry.
And that is provided by the board chair.
Okay, I was not aware of that.
You can probably
Approve it,
email her
either
a-
approve it the next meeting? the
Yeah,
next
let's
regular
approve it at
or
the
just
next meeting.
move it?
That's fine.
Okay,
That works.
thank you. Oh, we'll get that right next time around, y'all. Okay, it's been moved to accept the amended minutes. Second, properly moved and second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye, opposed? Okay, those are adopted. And now, Mr. Barron, would you like to give us the operations report?
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
This operations report was written on November 4th, so some of the things in here are a little bit, could be dated, just so you know. We had 257 polling locations on Election Day with 396 precincts. We are at certification. Nadine drafting an after-action plan to identify issues and improvements to be implemented prior to the November 30th runoff election. We will be picking equipment up until tomorrow. We have had limitations on available truck rentals and couriers, and that is why we're still picking up equipment. Currently, there are no polling location changes anticipated for the November 30th runoff election. Municipalities will advise by, or they advised by last Friday, which contest will require a runoff, and we have provided the board that list. All 9 check-in locations were used on November 2nd. We didn't have any major problems with any of those check-in locations. A post-election Zoom meeting will be held this Wednesday with check-in managers to discuss any reported or unreported problems and to get their suggestions for the future. And I believe that we may even, Nadine mentioned that we might try to add one more location, not for this election, but in the future. We will have 8, we had 8 drop boxes for this election. I believe that since there are just between there's like 460,000 voters that'll be in the runoff, we might have to drop the 4 absentee ballot drop boxes for that election. And so Nadine will, when we're approving the early voting sites, we have recommendations on what those 4 sites would be. We will not have to have any training ahead of the November 30th election for poll workers, unless for some reason we have any new managers that we need to have a specific training for, but I don't see the need for that. L&A will commence on Thursday, and as you will see, we're scheduled to begin early voting on November 17th through the 24th. As far as voter registration, the total number of applications we received is 83,680 so far this year. 11,349 were received in October. The number includes all applications received via DDS, online, which is also known as Oliver, and from third-party vendors. There are currently 847,780 847,737 total voters. 791,608 of those are active. 56,129 are inactive. And historically, 11,039 for October is significantly lower than any other year but 2017. We processed, or we need to process 9,893 applications currently, but these are all applications that we received after the voter registration deadline for November. So those will be processed after the runoff. We had a challenge hearing on October 21st. As I think was mentioned earlier, we had the voter registration division was tasked with researching the residency status of 373 Buckhead and 189 Alpharetta voters. The board denied the challenge, therefore all 562 voters stayed on the voter rolls. On October 28th, we mailed response letters to those voters that notified them the outcome of the hearing after their initial mailing that went out on Friday, October 15th. We had to do a petition verification on October 4th for a recall application for Secretary Raffensperger. We verified that the petition only had 10 valid signatures from Fulton County voters, and we submitted that back to the Secretary of State's office. With regard to, in the admin division, with regard to positions that are currently open, 5 registration officer positions. The position was, those positions were reposted and closed on 11/4/2021. We made a selection and an officer for the absentee ballot supervisor position, and we interviewed and selected for the absentee officer as well. The voter education manager, who is new, LaShondra Little, is right back here to my right. If she wants to stand up, she comes to us from the city of South Fulton. Do you want to say anything, LaShondra? Okay, she'll decline. So we're happy to have her on board. And then our new financial systems manager and Mariska's replacement as well will start on Wednesday. They go to orientation on Wednesday, and then we have a holiday. They get a paid holiday on Thursday. So they'll officially be in the office for the first time on Friday. With regard to the budget, 2022 budget, our operations budget reflects the same budget amount as the 2021 budget. We also made some capital project requests. We need some vehicles, a box truck with lift, cargo vans, 2 passenger cars, and SUVs. We requested 13 new positions, new voting equipment, forklift, scanners, new, warranties, and annual support fees, as well as an increase for food services for hospitality. Annual maintenance list of existing and new annual warranties, licenses, and fees are also in there. And then the travel and training, our budget has been the same since I arrived for travel and training. So we requested more because that original budget was for 18 full-time staff in 2013, and now next year we'll be up to, if the enhancements are approved, we'll be up to 56 full-time staff. County auditor is auditing Happy Faces, request from one of the commissioners to audit Happy Faces. That is underway. Ms. McLeod has submitted all of the required documents and answering any follow-up questions from the county auditor's office. Voter education, now that LaShondra's here, it will be under her management with Patrick overseeing that. Kelvin Jones, the lead trainer, has met with the VEO team consistently to review voter registration, absentee applications, the Senate Bill 202 updates, and the new Dominion voting equipment. We are researching via ElectionNet a full voter demographic for Fulton County over the past 5 years to implement target areas of low voter turnout across the county to target voter education and registration. We'll tackle this effort by separating the county into regions, North, Central Atlanta, and South. LaShondra Little will send out introductory emails to all the commissioners and external affairs director, scheduling meetings to gain insight into the voter education operations, and she'll be doing that throughout November. We're working to make the goal of 700 to 1,000 touch points a week a reality, and developing a diversity project to ensure we're being as inclusive as possible. And I think we mentioned last month, Patrick mentioned the initiative with the Carter Center and the Latin American community as well. You can see that in October we had a number of pages of events that we participated in. So our voter education team has been out in the community significantly leading up to this election. The Absentee Division, led by the outgoing executive assistant, Mariska Bodison, this was a very good election for her and her team to get their feet wet in absentee, and she said she learned a lot and will be making several changes leading up to next year's primary election. We ordered supplies from SOS and received those on October 8th. We've had virtual meetings with the Blue Crest vendor to make changes to the election products that affect the processing of ballots. We've had on-site meetings with OPEX representative. Those OPEX machines are the ones that cut the ballot envelopes, and we did have issues, not only us, many other counties. We had major issues opening the new absentee ballot envelopes. Their design, just ballots would stick to the inside. The inner envelopes stick to the outer envelopes. The ballots stick to the inner envelopes. And so we had a lot of ballots that had to be remade because they would get cut. And that wasn't unique to Fulton. So I think the state's gonna have to redesign those envelopes because it was way more than we should have had to deal with in that regard. Oh, okay. Thanks, Patrick. Okay. We used 8 drop boxes throughout the county, and all personnel assigned to those have been retrained. The chain of custody forms were updated. We had 2016 drop box people use the drop box, or ballots that went into the drop boxes. And then we hired a new absentee officer who will start November 10th, Shoshana Goins. And that is it for the operations report. If anybody has any questions, we'll go over the election in the next item, number 5.
Okay, let's just take a break to see if there's any questions. I'll start to my right. Mr. Johnson, do you have any questions? Not for this part. Okay.
Quick point of clarification under Rick, your report, personnel and staffing. You have listed 1 chief. Just
hold on.
for clarification, just trying to understand.
What page is that on?
I'm sorry, it's on page 5.
On page 5.
Under personnel/staffing, that first sentence, right at the end.
Oh, 9, yes. We have 9 permanent employees in voter registration, which includes a supervisor, a manager, and a chief. We have a registration chief, registration manager, and registration supervisor.
Okay. So that's just in the registration section?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Dr. Ruth, do you have any questions?
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about the outreach event with Senator Warnock's office?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry. So it's, has not occurred yet. It's just been a conversation and planning at this point. So will possibly be a future event, hopefully, in the future.
Okay, that's usually something I don't know if we've done that before, or we've worked with a senator who, that's also will be is that normal? Is my question.
Usually the elected officials with whom we work are commissioners most of the time, but since I've been here, I'm not sure that we've had a sitting senator request a voter education event, but we have had them with, I believe, a U.S. representative before, as well as mostly commissioners.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Crawford? Okay, no questions? I don't have any questions. Okay.
No questions.
Thank you very much for that. Do you want to now move to the overview of the elections?
Sure, we had, early voting ran smoothly, as well as absentee by mail. I think if we have some, from Marissa, if you have any specific questions on absentee by mail, can direct them to Mariska. But we had 2 election day locations that had poll pad issues, but all of our sites opened on time. Those poll pads were replaced, and all the voters voted, and those ballots were scanned in the precinct. We had 2 precincts that had scanner issues, and same thing, we scanned, the poll workers scanned those ballots in the precinct once we corrected the issues with the scanners on election day. I think overall the election ran very smoothly, and the check-in centers, I think, if Nadine, if I remember right, it was helpful to have fewer poll workers assigned to check-in centers on election night. So increasing it from 5 to 9 helped. I'm not sure if the time frame shortened, but we had, I think by 11:30 for the city of Atlanta, we had about 95% of the results in, which they closed at 8. So that would have been the equivalent of 10:30 of 7 o'clock closing. So having 95% of the results in 3.5 hours is good for us, considering the distances and the number of polling sites that we have. The performance review panel also was here on Tuesday. I took them around to 2 early voting sites during early voting, and then one of them also watched the closeout at C.T. Martin on the last day of early voting. One of the performance review panel members was in the call center with me all day on Tuesday, and that was Ricky Little from Catoosa County. Ryan Germany also came to the call center on a couple different occasions. Ryan, and then Stephen Davis from Gwinnett County went to some of our polling locations as well on election day, and then he was also at the EPC all night on Tuesday night. And so we got a lot of good feedback from them, and we've been providing them information along the way as well. But with regard to the election, I would say it was one of the smoothest elections we've had. So I think the staff was all happy with, for the most part, with the way that it went. But we've got certain things that we have to do ahead of November 30th.
Great, thank you. Any questions?
I'd just like to make a comment. I want to thank everybody that worked the election. I was out there and watched a lot of people pretty steady voting, and the poll workers were smiling and happy and very personable, so that was good. No, I want to thank everybody for the job that you
And
did.
you went, how many polling sites did you visit on?
12?
12.
On election day, 12 or 14?
You were slacking. Chairman Pitts hit 25.
Yeah, well, sorry about that. I was slacking, but I was spending time talking to everybody, so. But it
Yeah,
was-
his staff member that was with him, I told him he needed to sign up for Formula One because he got him to 25 sites in one
Yeah,
day.
really.
I don't think you can get to 25 fast food joints in Atlanta a day.
What I needed, one of those truckers' apps that, you know, you put the addresses in and it tells you how to run them. Because I wasn't doing that, and I'm going, oh, you know, I'm passing polls and going back, and it's like, darn. So, you know, I was not as efficient probably as Mr. Pitts was.
Matthew, do you need to take notes out there and get in that app?
Well, I too want to thank everybody. This was my first election, so every single thing that happened was new for me and a learning experience for me. And I particularly enjoyed spending some time at the call center. I had not seen that operation before. Patrick, it was great to see you there, and just how smoothly y'all were able to track and, you know, monitor issues as they came up. As you know, people report something and then somebody else reports it and then somebody else reports it, and you know, it keeps on coming. But to be able to answer people back with assurance, you know, that our processes are working and that there's an answer for everything, it was really helpful. So thank y'all for that. I know you've had every election is stressful, and y'all just keep on keeping on. So thank you for all your hard work. Other questions? Are we ready to
Well,
certify?
I also
Please.
wanted to echo those same sentiments and also give a big shout out to Ms. Benjamin and Ms. Williams for answering my calls as things popped up. They were so responsive, and I just really appreciate that.
Yes, Mr. Johnson.
I guess you can't get enough because you always get so much when something goes wrong. So we want to give you everything when it goes right. We thought this was a great election. We truly appreciated the work. I know people get tired of seeing my name when it pops up on their cell phones, but I did get a few calls, but all the calls were handled quickly. I truly appreciate everything that everyone did and the hard work that everyone put in. And I know it seems like it goes unnoticed, but I actually just got a text from one of the city clerks who saw Forrest this morning and felt bad that he wasn't here. So he also says, congratulations from the city of South Fulton on a wonderful election. And we truly appreciate everything you do.
Well, we actually like to hear from the board members because you guys can help us, you know, stamp out any rumors or fires that are coming. So we don't mind when your names appear in the text messages or calls.
Thank you. Mr. Wingate, did you have something to say?
Yeah, it was just I think, Nadine, I sent this to you. There was evidently some issue about the entrance location for that Sarah Smith School, that supposedly they changed it and put it in the backside of the structure itself, so.
Yeah, I talked to the poll manager. They moved us within the building from, I think, the auditorium to maybe the cafeteria. And so the entrance to the building ended up being around the back. The poll manager indicated to me that he ran signs all the way out to the street, but then we have a big sign that we have to put up. Right. The first line of it says, I think it was 7A voters stay here, but then the next line was 7A01 voters go to this site, but was in bigger type. So everybody's eyes, including once I got the picture, the first thing I read, and I think Aaron had the same thing, you see that bolded one with the underline and your eyes go there first, and then I read down. I didn't see the other line until later. So Nadine's gonna make a change to the way those signs are formatted.
I think we've all learned a lot about the new requirements, and some of them are old requirements that have, you know, made things difficult. For example, just reporting the Atlanta numbers in by 10 o'clock is a challenge because of the time frame allowed. So I'd like us to when we have a chance to reflect on those and collect those, and I've mentioned that there might be some policy changes that we could suggest to the General Assembly that would help the process move faster or move more smoothly. And we should, with the General Assembly coming up, we should be ready for that so that we can help make those things run smoother next year. Is that got it for everybody? Okay, I think we'll move to the certification part. This is where I'm going to need a lot of hand-holding and forgiveness as we get through this. Let me get this pile of papers here and make sure that we're doing it right. So we're going to take up the certification of results of the general, municipal, and special elections from November 2nd, 2021. And Mariska, so I will just read each city off, is that correct? And-
That's correct. And you
Okay.
make a motion on each municipality.
Okay, and we're going to start with Alpharetta. We're going to go in alphabetical order. The consolidated election returns for the special election and the general election. Do I need to read the numbers for each of these posts, or how do we do that?
No, ma'am.
How would I say it? Would you just give me an example?
You would ask Mr. Barron if he,
They are the true and correct results for the city of Alpharetta.
Okay. All right, Mr. Barron, are these and we all have a copy of the results, is that correct? Are these the true and correct results for the elections in the city of Alpharetta?
Yes, they are.
And can I have a motion to accept the results for the city of Alpharetta? So moved by Mr. Wingate,
Second it.
second by Dr. Ruth. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. I think I'm going to sign them after, so I can pay attention to what I'm doing. All right, we're going to move next to the Alpharetta Parks Bond Referendum. Mr. Barron, are these results the true and accurate results for the bond referendum in Alpharetta?
Yes, they are.
Okay, can I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second?
Properly moved and second. All of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? There are none. Moving to Atlanta. I have the consolidated municipal returns for the special election and the general election. Mr. Barron, are these results the true and accurate results for the election in Atlanta?
Yes, they are, and these are for Atlanta and Fulton. They exclude Atlanta and DeKalb,
Okay.
so.
May I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
None opposed. Thank you. We'll accept those. Now for the Atlanta School Homestead Exemption. Are these the correct and accurate results for the Atlanta School Homestead Exemption?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Properly moved and seconded. I'll just let the women on the left have the motions and second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. Thank you. Moving now to Chattahoochee Hills. Mr. Barron, are these the true and accurate results for Chattahoochee Hills?
Yes, they are.
Thank you. Is there a motion? Second?
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. Motion passes. The Chattahoochee Hills Sunday alcohol sales. Mr. Barron, are these the true and accurate numbers for this election?
Yes, they are.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. The motion passes. College Park. Mr. Barron, are these the true and accurate numbers for the election in College Park?
Yes, they are.
Is there a motion?
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? There are none. The motion passes. On to East Point. Mr. Barron, the municipal returns for East Point, are these the true and correct numbers?
Yes, they are.
Is there a motion?
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? There are none. The motion passes. For Fairburn, the consolidated municipal returns, Mr. Barron, are these the true and accurate numbers for Fairburn?
Yes, they are.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Oh, it might be,
It should be on the back, yes.
it's in the back, yeah.
Got it? Okay, there has been a motion. Is there a second? Second. Okay. Properly moved in second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. Motion passes. For Hapeville, Mr. Barron, are these the true and correct numbers for the Hapeville election?
Yes, they are.
Is there a motion? Motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. Motion passes. The election returns for Johns Creek. Are these, Mr. Barron, the true and correct numbers for the Johns Creek election?
Yes, they are.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Wingate. Second?
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? There are none. The motion passes. Thank you. Milton, are these the true and correct numbers for the Milton elections?
Yes, they are.
Motion
So moved.
moved. Second?
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. Motion passes. For Roswell, are these the true and correct election returns for Roswell, Mr. Barron?
Yes, yes, they are.
Okay. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. The motion passes. Sandy Springs, are these the true and correct numbers for the Sandy Springs elections?
Yes, they are.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? There are none. The motion passes. City of South Fulton, Mr. Barron, are these the true and correct numbers for South Fulton?
Yes.
Is there a motion?
So,
So moved, seconded?
second.
Second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. The motion passes. The numbers for the Fulton County T-Splost, Mr. Barron, are these the correct and true numbers?
Yes, they are.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. The motion carries. The Fulton County East-Splost, Mr. Barron, are these the true and accurate numbers?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to,
Is there a second? All right. Ms. Crawford moved, Mr. Johnson second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. The motion carries. And I believe that is the conclusion of our certification. Thank you all very much. I will sign these. We did for Fulton County, yeah. Got both of those? Yeah, we got those both. All right, so we're,
Oh,
is there a problem?
no, I was just, if you were signing, I can tell you real quick which cities are having runoffs if you want. but-
Yep, that would be good.
So-
Once again, I'm going to just sign on these lines.
Atlanta, Fairburn, Milton, Roswell, Sandy Springs. Atlanta, Fairburn, Milton, Roswell, and South Fulton are having runoff elections.
Any questions about the early voting sites or the runoff elections? Anybody good? Okay, thank you for that.
Have we determined the dates for early voting?
Yes, that's on the next agenda item, number 7.
I thought we were on 7.
Oh, I thought we were on it, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, we're starting, okay.
Yes.
Yes, we have. It will be November 17th to the 24th. And that will be 9 to 6 from that Wednesday through the following Wednesday. So we'll get in, I guess, 8 full 8 full days of early voting from November 17th through November 24th, from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. The locations will be in Atlanta, Adams Park. These are all going to be the same locations we used in the general. So for Atlanta, it'll be Adams Park Library, Buckhead, C.T. Martin, Chastain Park Rec Center, Metropolitan Library, Northside Library, Northwest at Scotts Crossing Library, Ponce de Leon Library. In Fairburn, we'll use New Beginning Senior Center. In Milton, we'll use the Milton Library. Roswell, the Roswell Branch Library, the East Roswell Branch Library. In the city of South Fulton, we'll use Southwest Art Center, Wolf Creek Library, South Fulton Service Center, and Denard Library at South Fulton. Now, Nadine's just updated me that we will be able to have 5 absentee drop boxes. And the 5 that we're going to need to recommend them to the board. And we will recommend that we place them at Milton Library, East Roswell Library, Buckhead Library, C.T. Martin, and then this South, is it South Fulton? Do you have 2 circled there? Is it South Fulton? And then the New Beginning Senior Center would be the 5th. So you can, I think we provided you a map, so you'd be able to see how those are spaced out. And the South Fulton Service Center, we have an office there, so voters can drop those in the office there, as well as here at the Government Center. Voters can also go into the office at the North Fulton Service Center as well, even though the Service Center isn't in the election.
So you'll have to update this?
That is, yeah, we'll put out a new flyer.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, External Affairs is working on that for us already.
Madam Chair.
Okay.
Just for clarity, the sites that we had listed, plus we're going to do Milton Library, East Roswell, Buckhead, C.T. Martin, for the drop boxes, that is, and New Beginnings. However, voters will be able to drop them off at South Fulton, North Fulton, and downtown.
Yes, and I think Nadine hasn't.
Right. We are waiting for the SOS to confirm if we're limited to 5. We were asking a question because does SB 202 limit us, since it's per 100,000 voters, do we have to do that based on the precincts participating in the runoff, or is it for the whole county? So we're waiting for them to reply to us if we're limited, if we can do the 8, or do we have to limit it per the number of 100,000 voters for the runoff?
And if we can do the 8,
Then we'll leave them the
we'll
same.
go back to the ones that were there.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Other
Madam
questions?
Chair.
Mr. Wingate?
Nadine, when do you anticipate you'll have that answer?
Honestly, we emailed them today, so I'm hoping we'll get an answer today. We'll follow up with them this afternoon.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions over here to my left? Okay.
No, ma'am.
Great, thank you. Appreciate that. Let's see, I've lost my place in the agenda here. Do we need to make a motion to approve those early voting sites? Yep.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the early voting locations and the drop boxes.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. The motion passes to approve the early voting sites and drop-off locations. And we will take a minute for everybody to sign before we leave the podium, but I think we would like to have an executive session to discuss a personnel manual matter. Can I have a motion for that?
Motion, I'm sorry.
To go
Motion to go into, I'm sorry. Motion to go into executive session for personnel matters.
Second.
Okay, properly moved and seconded. We will do that and come back out. Probably would be good if we just convene after each of you has signed all these. Would that be right? You don't mind if we take it? Thank you. All right, we'll come right back out. Did we take a vote on that? We voted on the motion for executive session. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, there are none. Motion passes. Thank you. We'll be right back.
Oh, Mariska, did you get what I sent you last night, or, okay, so I can throw this away?
I don't, you don't have mine. Do you have a copy? Oh, I have to sign, okay. Okay.
All right, we are returning back from our executive session to discuss a personnel matter. Could I have a motion to come back into the general session?
So moved.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? There are none. We are back into our regular session. Is there any, are there any new matters or anything else we need to discuss at this point? Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor to adjourn?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? There are none. We are adjourned. Thank you.